Sorry, colleagues, I must stop your speeches when the time is over. It's democratic rule. I cannot help it. And the next speaker will be Madame Theresa Griffin.
Thank you. Commissioner Designate, although you have recently sold your shares in oil companies, nonetheless you chaired those companies, built a network and created strong connections with the oil industry. In light of this, how do you intend to be objective about your role in the oil industry? And secondly, in many parts of Europe, rising energy bills are putting particularly strong pressure on the poor and vulnerable in society. No citizen should be forced to choose between heating and eating. You have touched on this, but what concrete proposals will you bring forward as Commissioner to tackle energy poverty? And finally, may I ask you to clarify your comments where you said it is difficult to have a debate between men and women, citing male intellectual superiority.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you.
Mr. Commissioner Designate, the time for you.
I have no problems of debating with women. You have seen this afternoon, but I say that that was a mistake, the comment I made in the past, and I apologize for it. So it was a mistake. I apologize, but you can see that we can debate. You can, so far. But on the question, on your very relevant questions, I am very independent. I have always been all my life, and I was the owner of the most famous shares in the history of Europe, so tiny and so famous, but. In those days, I belonged to the Green Growth Group. It was a group who was against oil, it was in favor of green energy. So, that was the position. I was of the Green Group, I was asking for ambitious climate objectives, and I was supporting clean energy. I did it in the past, I'll do it in the future. There is no conflict of interest, but in case there was some time of conflict, we have the Code of Conduct of Commissioners, and it explains clearly the way forward. And I will follow it if needed. Then, it's very important, your question about vulnerable consumers. It's really important. Efforts have been made to make a common definition and what is the approach. And the discussion at the moment is whether it should be done the approach within the energy policy or within different policies for social welfare. Within the energy policy, the best approach is to have intelligent meters so that they can consume at better prices, better buildings, that the heating is less expensive, and giving them priority when member states give support for renewable buildings to those sectors of the population who are more deprived, so that the buildings have more efficiency and then less costly. But in the end, there will always be a segment of the population who will have lots of difficulties and will have to be in support. The way the support is given is something we must reflect upon, because it is really a very important question.
Thank you very much.